I really want to see how good Booker is at defending because he doesn't have to focus so much on scoring. He can now just guard a little more than he did before. Since he don't got Mikal and Cam, who's just gonna just straight up play B3 and D anymore, Book's gonna have to defend. And so I really want to see how good he really is at guarding. Now, boom, these KD post-ups are going to be huge. They're going to be huge because there's no way you're going to be able to guard KD one-on-one in the post. You're just not going to be able to, right? And so you have a Kogi on the court who's here for defense, not a three-point shooter, although he has been knocking it down. He's been fairly consistent ever since he put that mask on, he's been going crazy. And so instead of saying, okay, just swing one to me and I'll just pass it to Book, he sets that down screen. So now if you're not that shooter, just go set that screen for the person that's right next to you and is that shooter. Instead of standing there and then being the non-threat essentially and being the guy they're going to dare to shoot. Hey, now I want you to peep this. I want you to peep this. Notice how low KD gets. We know KD's pull-up is deadly. Deadly pull-up, right? But the thing is his base is always low, and that's the key whenever anybody trains to dribble pull-up. You got to have a low base. You got to enter it low so then you have good rhythm going up. But as he gets down into this pull-up, he's not really going to a pull-up. He's reading Ayton this whole time. He keeps that base low. And by doing so, instead of coming up out that base and throwing that bounce pass, he avoids Powell's hand. Because now that pass is able to get low. Just low enough so he can get a right pass. Ayton gets the easy dive. And Ayton was not scoring too much later on in the game. But I'm going to break that down to you a little later. But people Kogi. I talk about this a little bit when it comes to having separation. And that when you gain quick separation, quick space, it's going to make defenders overreact. Because they're going to see you make that space and they're going to be like, okay, I got to close that space right back up. And so now they're going to start jumping. Now they're going to be a little antsy. Now they're going to be the first one to kind of want to jump out on that. And so now you see Okogie, Luka tries to get him twice with it. Notice how that first one, on that first bump, this one right here, he ain't create too much. And then boom, he came back with another one. And then Okogie goes in a little more just because he created just that little bit of space. Hey, they thought he got blocked right there. Luka tried to pass that. Luka tried to pass that, bro. It just shows you just got to try some shit sometimes, bro. Just try some shit. Like, especially when you in practice, when you're in the open gym by yourself. Like, if you're trying to get better at something, trying to add something to the game, just try some shit. Now, this right here, Luka's just like, F it, I'm not getting this up. I'll just throw it behind me because if Markieff Morris continues to go to the rim, he would have had this. But he stops at the three-point line. D-Book is the one that end up with the ball. Sometimes you just got to try some shit sometimes. All right, I'm about to show you a whole display of Landale from Phoenix Suns getting himself caught on the same move 3 times in one night. This is gonna happen throughout the course of this video, but this is the first time. And Landale he hasn't been in the league too much, so I guess he's just getting baited with this move every single time. So if you see somebody bring that ball below their knee, don't go for it. I'm telling you, don't go for it. You're not going to be able to get it unless you squat all the way down to the ground and then you reach for the ball. But if you see them do that, don't even try. Don't even try. Make it a habit just to not reach for it. Reach for it. Hey, great hezzy. Great hezzy. Hezzies aren't just off a pull-up. Hezzies are really just a change of speed. It's really just slowing down, getting into that skip. And boom, Campaign is able to use a hezzy properly to be able to make a read instead of just using a hezzy to make a hezzy. Because he uses this hezzy right here just to read Holiday to see if he's going to commit on him or if he's going to go back to KD. And since you got KD, who's going to leave KD? It's not a smart thing to do. And so now Holiday is just sitting there. Now he goes by, takes on Wood. Craig comes down from that other short corner, gets a 2. And by the way, I live stream all my breakdowns. So if you want to see these videos a day or two early or got any questions for me, want me to watch your film, make sure you go hit that link in the description, go follow, and also subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. Let's get right back to it. Picked off. Hey, let me tell you this about Okogie, though. He almost boomed on Wood. Okogie has picked the pockets of Kyrie Irving and Stephen Curry on a crossover. He's picked both of them on a crossover. So he's like, if you just notice it, like those are 2 of the best ball handlers in the NBA, and he's picked the both of them on a crossover. Great defender. Great defender. If he's able to have some sort of consistent jump shot, he's gonna get a lot of big time minutes, and that's why he wasn't playing too much in the fourth. He was cold. Then boom, drop off. Okogie deserves to be able to get to the line, shoot some free throws. That's great work. And coming right back, guarding Kyrie once again. Another steal by Okogie. Now boom, this is what now I want to talk about this pocket pass, because look at the angle Kyrie throws his pocket pass. It's kind of lateral, where it's kind of in a straight line. It's not leading wood to where he's going. So where would this pocket for this situation right here be? Probably more so between the legs of Ayton, because notice how Okogie ices this screen. And icing is when you just force that screen out the middle. And so anytime you enter this situation right here and this screen doesn't really get set, he's still just sitting on that hip. This player is going to be able to have an easy job of being able to close that up with their left hand. And Okogie, great defender, always going to have active hands. So you always got to be careful how you throw this pocket pass, because if you're going to throw this, you're going to have to lead him somehow. So it has to either be between the legs, or you're going to have to bring it over and just lead it with that left. And Okogie gets a hand on it. Hey, we all need to get some sleep. The VOD's still going to be up, though. Hey, bro. We all know Luka has pace. Right? But just notice how slow he really is. Just really notice how slow this dude is, bro. And literally, Ayton doesn't move at any other speed, and the defenders that guards him don't go at any speed faster than him, because they're just not able to speed him up. That's why pace is so key. We always think our moves had to be fast to be able to get to where we want to. But if we don't allow the defenders to speed us up, then they're moving at our speed, and all the moves we do and their reactions are also delayed because the speed at which you're moving. And so Luka, just a testament to that pace, is just the key to the game. All right, is that a foul? Really? Tell me, is this a foul? Really? Like, what could Kyrie do? That is not no foul. That is not a foul. Like, at times I really wonder, like, what else could the defenders do, because the rules are just so against them, and then players could get these flops. They could do all this bullshit and whatnot and be able to get these fouls. And mind you, 2 minutes, you're probably super close to the bonus. You're going to call Kyrie for a foul like this? This is not no foul. Bro. Like, come on, bro. He's just standing there. I don't know, bro. Hey, if we could get one thing from Kyrie Irving, if there's one thing every player could take away from Kyrie Irving, it's being able to lay with your offhand. In this case, if you're righty lefty, if you're lefty right, being able to lay with your offhand. And so everybody wants to be like the dribbles, all the skills, the footwork. But the one skill he has that anybody could use, but people don't really want to apply, is being able to finish with both hands and being able to finish with all angles. And on this one, you see Kyrie do this a ton, where he kind of gets to this middle, and then he shows with that right, just so the defender could kind of reach over. Then he brings it back to that other hand. If he's coming the other way, it'll be the opposite, where he shows one way, brings it back to underneath. So now you hit him over the shoulder, and now he gets a clean layoff and is able to maintain that touch. Hey, notice the pace of those strides right there by Luka. Notice the pace of his strides. How on his first stride, right? You see how on this first stride, he got his eyes up. As he took that stride, he put a little more air on that stride too. Peep it. Appreciate how they slowed this down. And so on that first stride, Ayton goes up. Ayton begins to jump because he thinks, all right, he's about to go into his leg. He's about to go into a flow. But he still has one more dribble because it'll slow down, because he jumped a little more just to make that jump a little longer, that stride a little longer, throw off Ayton. He's able to take that second step and then get into Ayton and be able to get that foul. That's another thing players don't do too often, is change the pace of their strides. If you're able to change the pace of your strides, you're going to be able to do things like this, where you're able to throw off the player that's coming from the help side, because they're going to try to time your strides. And if they usually think it's quick, they think it's going to be a 1-2, like a quicker 1-2. But if you go 1-2, that's just going to completely throw them off. Hey, and ever since the Mavs got Kyrie, this is the most spot-up jumpers I've seen Luka Doncic take. He ain't knock it down. He's probably just really not used to it. But this is the most I've ever seen him take. Hey, that's the best you could do as a defender in terms of verticality. When you see a player attacking the rim, that's the best you really could do. Cause say Kyrie tries to come all the way down here and take away this backboard angle to where he could get to take away that right side with verticality, he's gonna be jumping from left to right. He won't be able to get there in time. So he just does what he can and just takes away that middle and just kind of makes it tougher for him. But Booker still has an angle, is able to get that lay. Right back to it, right back to it, right back to it. Hey, Okogie, I told you it was an off night for him. 0 for 8. He was 0 for 8. But the thing is, he didn't let his offensive performance impact how well he played on the other side of the ball. Mind you, he was still competing. He was still picking up Luka. He was still guarding. Got this offensive foul. It did get overturned, though. But as I've even shown you before with some of those other clips defensively, he did not stop competing defensively. He ain't stopped, even though he was missing a bunch of shots. Hey, now if you watch the game, CP had a couple strips or a couple hits on Luka. He was kind of able to get that ball loose, throw Luka off a little bit. And the thing that Chris Paul does to be able to time this better than most players is that he waits until you get up into the shot instead of right as soon as you pick up the ball. Because once you pick up that ball, the ball is going to be the furthest away from you as a defender. It's going to be as far away from you as a defender. But as you get up into your shot, that's when that ball begins to move more towards that middle and get more towards that middle of your body. So now he begins to make that reach. Instead of making that reach as soon as he picks the ball up. Because if you try to do that, it's probably going to be in a foul. Now that's tough. Now that's tough by Kyrie. That is tough, Kyrie. But we all seen the bump and one. But he stops on a dime. He stops on a dime. If he did not stop right here, or if Ross was not right there, he would have stopped and went literally straight up. Straight up. That's balance. That's stability. That's a lot of work outside of just playing basketball. That's a lot of work. And on top of that, he takes the bump and then he moves more towards that baseline, still knocks it down, finds his angle. That's tough. Boom again. Chris Paul, hands on Luka. Great hands against Luka. These are some plays that you could say the refs should call, but I mean the refs ain't called it, so. And for the most part, some of them were fairly fair. Hey, now let me tell you, this is low-key worse than it looked. It was low-key worse than it looked. Because Ross is just showing and getting back. Now, the second time, he was just trying to show and get back. But now Kyrie brings that ball back, and the person he really faked out was D Book, not Terrence Ross. Because you see Terrence Ross going downhill, but he's just trying to get back to his. That's their coverage. But Book continues to go down. Book gets out. But it seems like Ross is the one to get fooled because he's the one that leaves. But that's their coverage. You know what I'm saying? Same thing I told you earlier about that base. You know that base on that dribble pull up? That base on it? Boom, he gets super low. KD is 7 foot, and he's getting this low on his drives. He's getting this low on his drives. That tells you something. That base is important. How low you get is extremely important. And what this also does is it shows you that it shows a defender that, like, okay, they're driving to the rim. They're trying to get a lay. They're trying to attack. KD gets low. Boom, gets to the spot off glass.
9 of 12 shooting for Durant. He's got the last 8 points for the Suns. Doncic off the run.
That's tough. Left, right, up, hangs in the air. That's tough. That's tough. Boom, boom. Hey, a lot of players in the league can't do this. But Luka, he does this. And that's basketball specific strength. He's an athlete. All because he's not super fast. All because he don't got a vert. He's still an athlete because his ability to control himself while he's on the court in ways that his body allows him to is exceptional. And boom, let me tell you this. Wainwright right here. Wainwright was big time. He knocked down some big time threes in the second half because Okogie was off. I told you he was 0 for 8. So offensive, even though he brings a lot defensively, offensively, he was a detriment because he just couldn't knock down any shots. So Monty Williams went to Wainwright in the second half. And so as soon as Wainwright came in the game, knocked down his first shot, first play. That's just called being ready. Now, if you're that person who comes off the bench and you're like, okay, I'm not warm, I'm not ready to go, you're never going to be able to capitalize on your opportunity, maximize your opportunity, because every single time you're going to get that little spurt to be able to prove yourself as to why you should be in the game, you're not going to be able to prove it. You just won't. Because you're not ready. Remember, my body's not ready. You got to keep your mental ready. Once you keep your mental ready, once you have your preparation set, your body's just going to follow. Your body's going to follow suit. Now, he's been sitting on the bench the whole game. Came in, knocked a shot down. Can't make excuses. You got to prepare if you want to be ready. Keep your mental ready. Once you get the opportunity, then you're going to be able to maximize it like Wainwright did here. Hey, peep this take, though. Peep this charge take, though. If you're ever going to guess on which way a player is in a Euro step, always guess middle. Because most times they're going to be attacking from like that sideline and then trying to get to that middle with that Euro step. So if you're going to guess middle. And that's what Campaign did here. Came over on this help. And he guessed middle. And caught Luka.
Inside a minute to go. Here's Booker.
Wainwright again. He's ready. He's ready. Knocked him down. Big time. 2 threes. Now they up 1. Landale once again gets caught on the same move. Gets caught once again on the same move. This low rip through. He just got his hands caught in the cookie jar this time. Last time he was on help. This time he was on the ball. Luka found his hands. Boom, swiped up. Foul. Luka gets to the line. I think he had a career night in terms of free throw attempts. Oh, mind you, Wainwright's ready to guard too. He's not just ready to shoot. He's ready to guard too. Pulled him over the top, got the miss. And ain't nothing too crazy defensively. It was really just his first sequence that was just like, okay, he's there too. And so now Kyrie's like, okay, I can't be playing too much. And he just kind of just settles for the jumper. And if you're guarding a guy like Kyrie, the best you'll pray that he settles for a jumper. Josh Green, Pete Josh Green. He's fighting KD. He's hustling down there. He's battling down there. Right? And the thing about great players, you're not going to be able to stop them every time. You're not going to be able to stop them from making every single shot. You're just not going to be able to. It's just great offense is going to be great defense most times. But the thing is, if you make them work, there are going to be times where they do something uncharacteristic. There are going to be times where they do something uncharacteristic because they just don't get the call they want, or because you're just doing a lot. You're getting underneath their skin. You're being a pest. Just make them work like Josh Green does here. He's just battling them. Then boom, KD hits that swipe because he wasn't getting that initial call. That boom. Let's just play out right quick. Good knockdown by Paul. But boom, going back to Wainwright though. Is that now since he's that player coming in, he can knock down these shots, right? Defenders are just gonna try to run him off the line. They're gonna try to stop him from shooting. They're gonna jump at him. And so now this is where you begin to add layers to your game. You add the reload, you add the dribble pull-ups, you add all these little things, you start taking them in practice. You get your teammates used to this being the shots you're now taking. And so now once it comes to the game, they're not going to be mad if you take a shot like this. Because he could reload right here, but his teammates aren't really used to him taking the shots like this. So now you're going to see KD or D-Book or CP like, what the fuck type of shot is that? Especially if you miss it, it's a hit or miss shot. Because if you miss that, John, you may be out the game. You feel me? So it's about you being able to put the reps in and then also get your teammates used to this being your type of shot and showing them that you worked on it and that you can knock it down. Because if you don't, then you shouldn't even be taking these shots and you'll just get your ass right out the game. Peep his patience. Hey, KD had to get Kyrie back for that and one lay he got on him. He had to get him back for that. But notice how Kyrie is about to attack this middle. He goes, then stops. What does this also do to the help defense? They're going, and they stop too. And then Kyrie changes that pace, and he's able just to sharpen that angle even more, turn that corner, and get to the rim. But then KD's right there to knock that shot away. And now I want you to notice this. Ayton, like I was saying before, he wasn't doing too much outside the first quarter. That first quarter, he had a couple buckets, he had some points and whatnot. But between that first and the fourth, he didn't score. He didn't score. So now you're gonna see them want to get Ayton engaged. And why do you want to get Ayton engaged when he's not even like your top scorer? You already got KD going, you already got Book going. Why do you want to get Ayton engaged into the game? It's because you can't lose your big man. If you lose your big man, they're not gonna be able to get the rebounds you need. They're not gonna be able to get those second chance opportunities if necessary. They're not gonna be able to do that dirty work down low. But on this play though, going to the defensive side though, great way for Hardaway Jr. to pull the chair on Ayton. He's got the mismatch. He just wants to use his size, pulls the chair, he just drops back. Now, boom. You already got Book and KD with about 30. You got to get Ayton going, too. I'm telling you, if you lose them, they're not going to be able to get the rebounds and the little putbacks and whatnot that you need down the stretch of a game. So they went to the Ayton CP3 pick and roll just to get him engaged. And so that feeling of the ball isn't foreign when you need him the most. Now, CP, boom. Ayton didn't get the ball, but he's engaged. He's active. Wainwright, another three. Hey, you say luck. I say that's just preparation. I say that's the repercussions of preparation. Once you prepare yourself, once you get yourself ready for the moment, I feel like there ain't no such thing as luck. So a situation like this, he been ready for it. He put the work in. Then he was able to get that bounce in. Then boom. Peep this though. Peep this to start though. CP. Tell him to go set it. He got Luka on him. He wants to get the mismatch. He wants to get the mismatch, right? But guess what? They just gonna let him shoot. They ain't trusting it. But you should have trusted it because Wainwright was ready to hoop. Wainwright was ready to hoop, bro. You stop playing with Wainwright, bro. I'm pretty sure he just got himself a guaranteed deal with Phoenix. But Wainwright going down the rest of the season, he may just be a replacement for Okogie because he's a better spot-up shooter. He's a capable defender, not as good as Okogie, but he's capable. And so if you're gonna try to replace somebody in that spot, it may be him. And also Ross, boom, right here, like I said with Ayton. You got him engaged a little early, so now he's gonna get inside and do some dirty work and not be a lazy big, just camping in the lane, sitting down that short corner, whatnot. Now 126 up. Wainwright again? Nah, you got KD. But peep where this double team came from. Of course, KD knocked us down. You could have gave this KD or gave us the Book, and you would have still been in good hands. That's the crazy thing about these two being right next to each other, especially in clutch time. Same thing with Dallas. Kyrie and Luka, clutch time, like, it's tough. So this double's coming from KD's right side. Coming from Kyrie. Gives it up to Wainwright. As soon as KD gets this, he rips left. Because if he rips left, he's got Book on this left side, and they're not sending no double from Book. They're not leaving Book open. So KD gets left, he's got an easy attack. And this double team still trying to chase him, and he's able to get to his pull-up, get a clean look off. Then Luka, great chance to tie the game up. Bump, no call. And then he sold it, bro. There's nothing else but just like, damn, you just missed it. Nothing else but damn, you just missed it. Hey, and then peep out what Lucas said after this game. He was like, okay, I don't mind trash talking, but if you're gonna trash talk in the last 3 seconds, that's a different thing. And I feel like that's one of the rules to trash talking. You can't trash talk in the last few seconds of a game. If you're gonna trash talk, you gotta trash talk throughout the entire game. The whole game you gotta trash talk. You can't be that guy literally just when you're about to win, you start talking your shit. Nah, you can't do that. Come on, it seems like Debo be doing that way too much. I'm pretty sure he did that last year in the playoffs too. But if we get this matchup in the playoffs, boy, it's gonna be crazy. I hope we do. That's gonna be one hell of a series, bro.